She returned to the same place. Some things were unforgivable. She glances around the room, then closes the door behind her. With his hand in hers, Claire guides Jeremy to the bathroom, helps him pull down his track pants, removing his pad as she nudges him onto the seat. She looks down at his still thick head of hair, feels, as she so often does, a great surge of tenderness. Their life together has not been perfect, but he loved her in spite of her failings, and she, mostly, loved him. Gripped by a moment of doubt, she trembles, then catches herself. There can be no going back. Claire organises wine, a toast to their life together. She goes through the CDs and chooses Charles Aznavour, one of Jeremy's favourites. Whenever she teased him about his daggy taste in music, he would laugh and waltz her around the room. Jeremy opens his arms wide. Soon they will go to bed, bodies and lives entwined. But now they will dance. Chapter 1. The bad news came unexpectedly, as bad news often does. Lizzie was down on all fours when Jane rang, knees protesting the bare timber floor, playing horsey with Jack. She phoned again when Lizzie was throwing the dice, Molly about to beat her at snakes and ladders. She ignored the calls. She wasn't interrupting her time with her grandchildren, not even for Jane. When the phone rang a third time, screen lighting up with Jane's name, Lizzie was in bumper-to-bumper traffic. She reached to take the call with a vague feeling of unease, withdrawing her hand when she remembered the fine she'd paid a few months before, the police officer who'd called her love. It will be nothing, she told herself. Jane, who'd been busy organising a surprise party for her mother's 75th, would be chasing Lizzie for photos or an amusing anecdote, a question that needed answering. The traffic had only just started flowing when a man in a high-vis vest, face grimed with dust, held up a stop sign. Lizzie tapped an impatient beat on the steering wheel. More roadworks. Particularly annoying, she mused, when she might not be around to enjoy the promised benefits. Dusk was descending, the sky a hazy mauve of traffic fumes and dying light, footpaths rushing with people clutching bags and briefcases, bodies slanted towards home. She turned up the radio and hummed along to a piece by Mozart. Music always gladdened her heart. It had been a good day, better than most. She and her daughter Margot hadn't had words, not even when Margot wagged her finger at Molly and told her not to be bossy. No one likes a Miss Bossy Boots. Lizzie was of a mind the world could do with a few more Miss Bossy Boots, but she wasn't one to preach. A young woman in the car beside her was touching up her lipstick. She pouted into a tiny circle of mirror, head angling this way then that, pleased, so far as Lizzie could tell, with what she saw. At her age, why wouldn't she be? She envied that generation, not their youth so much as the opportunities laid at their feet. Had she had the same choices, she doubted she would have pledged her life to a man, or a woman either for that matter. The question of motherhood was more vexed. Would she have denied her maternal longing? For longing is how she remembered it. Would she have willingly given up her freedom? The answers eluded her. What did it matter, when there'd never been that choice? You married, you had children. And then, just like that, you were 70-something. When Lizzie's grandmother was in her 70s, special privilege.